save a world.
Hey, there we go. Both the microphone and the camera were shat in the bed. What's up, friends? My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. You can call me Captain James Holden, or just call me Ciotti. That's fine. Welcome to 5-inch Friday. I hope we got your 5-inch ready and in your hand. Never mind. Let's... Moving on. We're going to do some Q&A. We're going to put Axis 2306's onto the testbed glide. And maybe we're going to put a Vista into the Rossi. We'll see. I can't imagine a world where I'll have enough time to do that, but I like to make plans and then break the plans. That's the way it goes around here. This is my full-time job. If you want to support me so that these live streams will keep on going and going and going, head on over to CiottiFPV.com. Whole bunch of different things you can do. Patreon helps me out the most. For as little as $3 a month, you can get a ton of benefits, and it really makes a big difference. So if you want to get in on the giveaways, this coming Monday is a giveaway night. If you want to get on the giveaways, you can do the $5 a month tier for Tiny Whoop and toothpick stuff, the $10 a month tier for 3-inch micro brushless and Cinewhoop stuff, or the $20 tier for 5-inch parts. Typically I give away $100 to $200 worth of stuff every other Monday. So it's a pretty good deal. You're gonna love my nuts. Head on over, click some buttons. There's also a bunch of affiliate links. There's all kinds of good stuff going over there. Head on over. You'll see it. You'll love it. 1810 kV. There we go. And this one's 1960 kV. We don't want that one. Another 1960 kV. I snagged a couple 1960 kVs of these Axis 2306's when I couldn't find the lower kVs, and I just wanted a couple of extra bells. So I'm not going to use these stators, although I could absolutely mix and match stators. 1900, 1800 kV. Absolutely no sweat matching those. Hell, I had a rig that for the longest time had one 2400 kV motor and 3 1600 kV motors, and because of the fact that the PID loop runs at either 4,000 or 8,000 cycles a second, right? That's what 4K and 8K stand for. It just handles it. It doesn't even like phase it for a moment. It's incredibly impressive. Oh, I bought an extra. Look at me. I bought an extra one of the lower kV motors. All right, cool. So now I got my little Axis bag with a bunch of Axis motors in it. Look at me go! In the chat, Dan636, Athix, ImpFPV, GrizzFPV, WOM, Aircon, Flush, Harbles. Hey Harbles, I got your stuff. It's gonna get shipped out tomorrow, it looks like. Sorry for the delay. Dan Richmond, Marty Wassick, PJ, JR, Yarbs. If you want the gangly man to read your name, you got to get in early. You got to say something. If you want to talk directly to me, all you need to do is type CiottiFPV in your comment, and it'll light up an orange like this. You don't have to put an @ in front of it, but you certainly can if that's the kind of thing that you like to do. Unlike most other streams, you need to @ me. Everybody else says don't @ me. ImpFPV says, hi ho everybody. Dan636 says, glad I was home in time. I missed you guys in CiottiFPV. Marty Wassick says, cruising into the weekend. How about you? JR says, what's up? When you get a chance, check the Discord live stream chat. Got bored today and made something. Might go good with the HD Polar Cam. Came out better than I thought. JR, can you do me a huge favor and send me that in like a message or something? Patrick's gonna get here in the middle of the stream and I'm gonna forget to do anything at the end of the stream. Athix says, got my broke 9-inch ready. Vertez Weasel says, 5 inches in my hand. Dude, my drone is an anaconda. And I'm caught up on chat. Who's beeping? What are you beeping about over here? What's the situation? All right, we're good. I'm getting geared up for this wedding gig tomorrow, which has a team from Bravo, the television station Bravo, following these people around. So yeah, I'm making half my day rate, but the other half I'm getting paid in exposure bucks. So that's fine. I usually don't do that. But eventually you kind of have to. Like, eventually you're going to get paid in exposure bucks. You just have to try to make sure that it's not every time. You know, exposure bucks don't keep the lights on. And people tend to kind of abuse exposure bucks, if I'm really honest. So, yeah, go with like a 90-10 rule. 90% of the time you want to get paid. 10% of the time you can just take some exposure dollars. Look at this. Look at this. This is that apex that was sitting up on the wall forever that you guys didn't notice. Hold on, let me pause this. Let's look at the computer running a little bit better. There we go. T-Bird sent this over. It's got FETEC in it, unfortunately, but I guess what I'll do is fly it on the FETEC setup, and then I might bring it over to Betaflight, and then it'll fly a lot better. But yeah, look, it's a DJI Apex on the most expensive motors
In the world.
Fucking $30 per motors. What world is this? I've already tried KISS. I know exactly what it does and doesn't do. It doesn't fly anywhere near as good as Betaflight. It's definitely different. It's different. You can change the word different out for worse, and it's still a true statement. But, you know, the cult of KISS is obsessed with. It's funny that nobody ever says that KISS flies better. It's pretty telling, right? Everybody only ever says that KISS flies different. You know, nobody ever says better. That's Hey, let's weigh this. Actually, let's weigh this compared to a glide. It's probably going to be pretty heavy. The Apex, one of the main things I don't like about the Apex frame is how heavy it is. So dry, no GoPro, no battery. Whoo! Yeah, that's a fat girl. 400.8 grams. Just call it 400 grams right on the nose. Compared to, that doesn't have props on it. Here we go. Compared to a pretty standard glide. In fairness, this glide is on analog. 372. And this has a little bit heavier of a GoPro mount. So yeah, 30-ish gram difference. The majority of that is the Apex frame. Switching from analog to DJI, I believe, is less than a 10 gram weight penalty. I think it's like a 6 or a 7 gram weight penalty. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, I mean, in fairness, the Apex frame is definitely stiffer than the glide frame. If you take the Apex frame like this and you like really muscle it, these 5.5 millimeter thick arms are definitely stronger than the glide arms. The problem with that is they're too strong, and the motors become the weak point. So on the Apex frame, you're going to break a lot of motors, whereas on the glide frame, you're going to break a lot of arms and save a lot of motors. Yes, you can crank your filters and your PIDs up a little bit more from the stronger arms, but for example, this rig is on KISS. KISS does not have filtering that's anywhere near as good as Betaflight's. So, like, what's kind of interesting, right, is like a glide on Betaflight, you're going to be able to get that locked in, even though the frame is a little bit more bendy. You're going to be able to get it locked in on Betaflight much better because the filtering is so much better than an Apex frame with KISS. So I mean, it kind of makes sense that that Steel ended up pairing KISS with a frame that's as stiff as this, right? Like, you kind of need it. You know, KISS is running KISS or FETEC or whatever is like a demerit, you know, and you got to make up for it somehow. And one of the ways to make up for it is to make the frame a lot stronger, but yeah, unfortunately, by doing so, you lose the benefit of having an arm that breaks before a motor. Nichols Sticks FPV says, I've never broke a motor from crashing with my Apex. You're not crashing hard enough, brother. Folks that really fly hard and really crash hard will go through 10 motors a month some months. Yeah, you just gotta fly faster, you gotta fly harder, you gotta hit shit harder. And then you'll start blowing up motors. Obviously, don't do that on purpose, but push yourself. One of the ways to really improve as a pilot is to push yourself a little bit beyond your limit. And when you do that, you start crashing a lot, and you crash really hard. And then the more you fly, once you get into your second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, you're just going to crash harder and harder and harder and harder. For me, it's to the point where, like, if I crash, it's like a bomb going off. Most pilots that have been in the game a long time and have really focused on getting good, that's really the scenario. And my God, we go through a lot of motors. I've probably, if I had to guess, I've easily blown up. I'm probably at about 100. Maybe not 100. I'm probably knocking on the door of about 100 blown up motors. It's just the name of the game. The 4mm titanium motor shaft is just not quite strong enough for a 600 gram rig. In the Apex case, you're going to be closer to like 630, 640, which is going to make the situation even worse. The 4mm TI motor shafts are just not strong enough. And all of these motor manufacturers are using the same grade of titanium. If they were using a better grade of titanium, instead of the motors being $25 or $30, they would be $50 or $60. So there just aren't any motors that crash better than any others, because the motor shafts are all pretty much exactly the same, and they're what fails. Athix says Bravo TV isn't too bad. It's really not. Nickelstick says, have you ever run all 4S motors with 6S LiPo with a motor output limit? What's your thought on using 4S motor, 6S LiPo with a motor output limit? I did that for a little over a year at one point. I had two completely identical rigs, one of them on 2400 kV F40 Pro 4s. Pro 2s, the other one on 1600 kV F40 Pro 2s. And not only could I not tell the difference between those two rigs, I blind tested them, I back-to-back them over and over and over and over and over again, but there was no noticeable difference in flight time. And yeah, I mean, it was absolutely fine. Chris Rosser did a test where he looked at the efficiency at full throttle, and absolutely there's going to be a little bit of an efficiency loss running a 2400 kV motor rather than a 1600 kV motor. But what he didn't talk about, which made me very sad, is that we spend a sum total of like 5 seconds at full throttle over the course of a 3 to 5 minute flight pack. So having that, showing that efficiency loss at 100% throttle doesn't really matter at all. You know what I mean? Once you get these things up in the air and you actually start flying them and you put a couple of hundred batteries through them, which is what I did, there's just no difference between the two. The only thing you have to be careful of, the only problem with running 2400 kV motors on 6S in beta flight with the motor limiting is if you go into the motors tab, that is not affected by the motor limiting. So if you go into the motors tab, you hook up a 6S battery and you ramp all 4 motors up to 100%, it is going to put a heinous amount of RPM through those motors. And they're going to get really hot really fast. So you don't do that. There's no reason to really ever go full beans in the motor limiting tab. All of the vibrations happen at about 30% throttle. So you go up to like 1300, you move it up and down a little bit. That's where you're going to feel your vibrations. And that's it. No real reason to go full banana pants in the motor limiting tab. So realistically, 2400 kV motors are absolutely fine on 6S as long as you get your motor limiting down to like 60%, 65%. I prefer like a 5S kV motor, like 1900, like 18, 19 1800, 1900, 2000 kV or so, because then you can back your motor limiting off to like 90% or 85%. And now if you need a little bit more power, it's there, but you're not motor limiting like way down. There are potentially some issues when you motor limit down to like 60%, 55%, 50% in terms of the resolution of the throttle throw. I was never able to tell, and like I said, I put hundreds of batteries into these two rigs. I'm not the most sensitive person to changes in my rigs. I tend to just like adapt and just fly around whatever weirdness is going on or whatever's changed. But yeah, I don't know. Some pro pilots claim that they can feel a difference, so we'll see. We won't see. Athix says, cue fat bottom girls, places Apex on the scale. P. Richard Scott says, why is 2 packs enough? Am I old? On the way. Patrick is on his way over. He's going to be hanging out here while I work on some Apexes. And then him and I are going to hang and have a good old time as we always do. Athix says, do you break bottom plates much on the glide? I've broken 2 of them. The old school bottom plates, I probably broke about a dozen of the damn things. And then Bob changed it to the new design, and I haven't broken one of the newly designed ones. So, yeah. If you're able to find glide parts in stock, the new base plates are going to be a lot stronger for you, Athix. Although, to be honest, there aren't many rigs that don't break bottom plates eventually. The CL1 is just plagued by it. Oh my god. I feel like every day there's somebody else posting a picture of a broken CL1 base plate. That's actually why I moved away from that frame. I started to break the base plate on my like second or third battery in. It was just so stupid. It's just a bad design. The second set of what you really need to do is you jack the second set of standoffs into the arms. Let me show you guys. So this is actually a really important part of frame design. So when you crash inverted, the ground hits like this and it pushes down. All that force goes down into the top and the base plate, right? So the majority of the force goes up here and it tries to do this. It tries to pivot the top and base plate down like this, and it tries to break them at this corner, right? The glide, since it's set up, since it's a True X, and since it's also set up to hold a flight controller up front, it's got a long nose. It's got a very long front section here. So that means that there's a longer lever here, so it's at a little bit of a disadvantage up front here when it comes to those crashes. Luckily, Bob knows how to design a frame, and the second set of standoffs here are connected to the right on top of the arms here, and that bolt goes through the arm. So all of this force pushing straight down when you crash inverted, because the GoPro is the highest point, all of this force pushing straight down gets split between this second set of standoffs, which is pretty much infinitely strong because it's tied into 2 millimeters, 5 millimeters, 2 millimeters, right? So 8 millimeters of is that math right? 9 millimeters of carbon here. This second set ain't gonna break, but eventually, if you keep hitting it, it will bend this front section down, and it will crack right here. This one is just ever so slightly starting to show it. It'll crack right back here. This is the old school bottom plate design, though, where there's a really sharp angle here. The new school bottom plate design looks like this. And there's a whole bunch more material right here that Bob added, and I have yet to break one of these. The reason why the old school base plate breaks is you can see there's a straight line here. Right on this corner, it just forms a perfectly straight line into this M2 hole tiny little jump here, big ass gap, big old cutout here, and then the same thing on the other side, right? So you've only got like this little area of carbon, this little area of carbon on both sides to keep this front bit strong, whereas on the new design, you've got all this carbon. It is so much stronger. So yeah, once the Glide comes back in stock, get you some of the new base plates, and you'll be good to go. Let's see what the let's see how the Apex is designed. Oh yes, wow, the Apex has the unbelievable. The Apex is not designed like that. This is the front set of standoffs, and it just goes into the base plate. But luckily, there's not the same straight line. You can kind of see on the sides here. Impulse did the similar thing to what Bob's new design is, right? So there's plenty of meat here. So if this front piece was going to break off, it would probably break across here. It would probably connect a line like there into there into there maybe, or maybe it would go here into there into there into there. The designing it this way, they need to do that. They can't have as many cutouts. They have to add more material in here to prevent that from happening. And again, what I'm talking about is the fact that the second set of standoffs on this frame, it doesn't jack into the arms. It jacks just directly to the base plate. So any inverted hits that you take, the top plate and the base plate have to handle all of that. They don't have the support of the arms. One of the other things that does help the Apex frame is the vertical carbon plates. They do a good job of spreading that energy out a little bit more. And they also kind of box in the top section. But again, this is all heavy. You know, these are all things that are adding material, adding weight. And yeah, we are flying. And when you're flying, weight is a really big deal. Designing a frame that's lighter weight, but it's better designed to deal with the forces involved in crashes, will allow you to do stuff like running a bigger battery, running bigger motors, and the total weight of your rig will be the same as a frame that's not designed in that same way. So yeah, frame design is pretty fascinating. It's really cool to see sort of the evolution of these frames. It kind of drives me insane though when a frame comes out without much thought given to this kind of stuff, because a lot of people will buy it and have kind of a bad experience, and there's no reason for that in 2022. Like there's no reasons for frames to be sold anymore that fail in this way. So I don't know. It's very confusing. Sometimes I'll see a new frame that comes out and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is worse than frames from 5 years ago. What is happening? YouTube just did the thing. Scrolling back up. Michael D says, my stickers came in today, made my day, man, and just ordered some shirts. Very cool, Michael. Love that. Stick those stickers on stuff, take some pictures, tag me, and I'll put you on my Instagram. I love to see it. Veritas Weasel says, do you build 120 mile per hour drones? I have built one. The Razorback will probably go about that fast. But I don't really have a reason to build more than just that one. So I guess the answer to your question is no. I don't build them, but yes, I have built one. How about that? Flush FPV with a $10 super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, the X-Nova motors came that you recommended for my Acrobrat. Just wanted to say thanks. Building it now. Very cool, Flush. I love that. Are you building a V1 or a V2 Acrobrat? If you're building a V2, I can't really help you. But if anybody out there has and or wants to build a V1 Acrobrat, or like if you already have one and you need some replacement parts, hit me up. I have 2 full V1 Acrobrats. I even have a bunch of the old school Brat motors, the 1507 Brat motors. I was holding on to them because I was going to do like an OG build at some point with it. But man, I'm not going to have time for that. I took like all the builds that I had like piled up in the 3x3 Kallax cube over here. And I put them all out on the dining room table since I don't use it for anything else. And there's got to be like 20 builds out there. So I gotta thin the herd out a little bit and yeah, and just move some stuff along. So if for some reason you're obsessed with V1 Acrobrats, let me know. I've got a ton of stuff for you. Hey, I need your guys' help. I'm gonna make this into a little naked GoPro carrier, I think. But I need some different motors. I want plug and play motors. So here's my challenge to you guys. What are the biggest plug and play? You know, the JST 1.25. You know, like the tiny whoop, the normal tiny whoop plugs, not the newbie drone plugs. What are the biggest motors that you guys know of that have the plugs attached? I think the biggest ones are the 1207's on Umagod's website. I think he had a run of 1207's made with the plugs on them. That's kind of big though. Those motors were made for a 2.5-inch rig. This is a 2-inch rig. So I don't think I need something that's quite that big, but I would rather have a motor that's too big than too small kind of thing. So if I have to get those, I will. But do you guys know of any like 1404s that have the plugs soldered, ready to go? Let me know if you know of something. Tag me, please. I'm still selling a bunch of stuff. I have these RC & Power 2105 3600 kV motors, great for a 3-inch Cinewhoop. Absolutely brand new, pink and blue. I've got a Nanohawk X, an Emax Nanohawk X with 2 sets of motors. This is their little 1S toothpick builds. Yeah, it's got a set of Beta FPV 1103 15,000s on it, and then it's also going to come with a full set of the stock motors, 1202.5 11,000s, 4 batteries, and a bunch of other stuff. I've got 6 Tooth Fairy 2 5-inch arms. So if you want to bring the pain with a Tooth Fairy 2 build, I got a bunch of extra 5-inch arms for you. I got a couple of 0802 22,000 kV HGLRC areola motors, and I got a few 2S batteries with PH 2.0 connectors, so you can just plug them directly into a newbie drone whoop. 1 300 mAh, 2 350 mAhs. So if any of you guys are in the market for any of that stuff, hit me up. I'll make you a good deal and move some things along. I've been flying these thumb grippies thumbsticks, and I've definitely decided that this bigger, like this bigger headed thumbstick is not my thing. That in the flying that I was doing in the intro there, these are what I was flying, and it just doesn't feel right. I'm sure eventually I would get used to it, but there's no reason for that. What I can say though is, my God, these are. This is so nice. It's just like you grab it and it doesn't. It's really good. I really like these thumb grippies, but I am gonna switch from these bigger ones to a smaller set. I might actually do that right now, come to think of it. I've also got 3. I've got 3 FPV Cycle V4 ducts. That I'll pretty much send you for shipping if you want them. I'm not going to run them anymore. They broke way too easy for me. And I really like the molded ones for super peace of mind. Athix says, I got old school. I got 4 old school glides then. Yeah, I had tons of the old school base plates. Ricardo says, what's your Cinewhoop camera up tilt / angle? I have one Cinewhoop with a 10 degree up tilt. I have one with a 20 degree up tilt. I have one with the Tooth Fairy 2, which has been converted into a Cinewhoop, which is 30 degree up tilt. It's very like mission specific. The up tilt of your Cinewhoop, I'm not saying this right. If you're gonna have a Cinewhoop, you're gonna want to have a 10 degree, a 20 degree, and maybe even a 30 degree mount. You're definitely gonna want a 10 degree mount. You're definitely gonna want a 20 degree mount. If you're on the fence, you might not need a 30 degree mount, because they don't really go much faster. Like the 20 degree mount will go. Let's say the 20 millimeter mount will take you to 20 miles an hour. I'm just pulling a number out of my ass. Let's say that'll take you to 20 miles an hour. Going up to the 30 degree mount will only take you to like 25 miles an hour. Like it's not much of a change. Once a Cinewhoop starts to like really stand up, it just doesn't go much slower, and you end up just like looking straight down at your target. So yeah, you really want to have a couple of different up tilt mounts for your Cinewhoop for sure. So these ones here are the Mini Mushroom M4s, and I am putting them back in the bag. This big ass kit here of stick ends is the Stick and Dick End project that I'm doing for patrons of mine. If you're a patron, you will have access to my Discord channel, and on my Discord channel, there's a text thing called Dick Ends. Here's how it works. You have to pay into it. You can just pay $1 though. You pay your $1 or 10 or 100, however much you want, and you get on the list. I am putting together 2 kits. One kit with every single M3 stick end that exists, one kit with every single M4 stick end that exists. You pay into it either here by Super Chat or by going to CiottiFPV.com, scrolling down and clicking the PayPal button. You pay into it, and then you get on the list. The more you pay, the higher you go on the list. Somebody sent me $100, for example, for the stick end kit. That person will almost certainly be number 1 on the list. He'll be the first one that either this M3 or this M4 kit goes to. Make sense? Bunch of people have paid in like $10. So yeah, that's how it works. I have a Google document that is linked, and it's public, so you guys can see it. You can see how much everybody else has paid into it, so that you have a general idea of how long you're going to have to wait. I need you to tell me if you're M3 or M4, and I need you to tell me your real name, because I need to chase everybody down on Patreon and send your addresses to the next person, for example. So yeah, that's how it works. That's the Stick and Dick End Fund. I'm going to try the Specimens pinch sticks for this gig tomorrow. Should be fun. So yeah, that's the Stick and Dick End Fund. I found a bunch more stick ends over on Race Day Quads that somehow I missed. And I talked to Evan Taylor from Fly 533, and he's going to be... He offered me a... so he's got a lot of different stick ends too. So I messaged him. I said, hey, Evan, here's what I'm doing. I explained the whole project thing. And I said... farts. I said, I see you've got a lot of stick ends, and I need to buy them in both M3 and M4, which is going to cost me a fortune. Any chance you can do a little discount for me? And he said, yeah, absolutely. He's hooking me up. Basically, his stick ends are $15 per set. He's going to give me a coupon code so that they come down to $10 a set. So that'll help a ton, because I have to get like, I think like 8 of them from him. So yeah, that'll help a ton. And then I'll do the, I'll grab the couple that I missed from RDQ. And then I think that's it. And then I think I'll have everything, and I can send it out to the first person. Those of you that get this kit, I want you to try to work your way through it as quickly as you can so that we can get it to the next person. Hopefully nobody has the kit for more than like a week or so. I understand that you're gonna want to fly them for a minute, but I have a feeling you can get the kit out and you can like eliminate the majority of them and find like 2 or 3 that you're torn between, and then those are the ones that you fly. I don't think you really need to fly every single one in the entire kit. I feel like you can just kind of fire up the simulator and put 5 or 10 minutes into each set real quick and have a really good idea of which ones are your favorites. So yeah, that's what we're doing there. And again, it's all broken down over on Discord. Ooh, that's pretty long. I think that's a little too long. Yeah, it's too long. Let's take the little nuts off of here. What else? What else is going on, chat? Nickelstick says, when are we getting a CiottiFPV frame? Ryan Harrell, who runs Mini Quad Test Bench, he actually helped iterate on a design that a couple of folks from chat got me started on, and it exists. It's they're sitting out on the dining room table with all the other not completed builds. This summer I'm gonna get those frames built, start crashing them, and then find the weaknesses. Ryan and I will improve on it, and I think so. This is like version 0.1 of this frame design. I think that once I break them, we can get like a V2. He cut me 2 of them, so I have 2 of them that I can smash the shit out of. So I'll try to break them both. Once we see where they break, we can get like a version 0.2 of the frame design. And at that point, I think I'll let you guys get in on it if you want to help continue the prototype testing. But I don't want to give you guys this version 0.1 of the frame because it could have like vibration problems. There's any number of issues that it could have at this point. So yeah, it's coming. It's going to happen this year for sure. Ooh, these are good. I like these. These are nice. Skinny little buddies. Cool. Yeah, this is what I'm going to fly tomorrow. For sure. Let me put this over here so I don't roll over it. Okay. Dan636 says, putting a balance lead on a 5S LiPo. Oof. Dan636. Hope you got home insurance. Cidfpv says, if the Glide isn't in stock by the end of next week, which is the next frame that is almost as good as the Glide. I think the Apex. If I weren't flying Glides, I would be flying Apexes. I would just suck up the extra weight and the fact that they're going to be a lot harder on motors. But that's about it. Metanerdskin says, Heli Nation makes a Talon 1204 with a plug on it. Maybe other sizes, not sure. Dude, I thought so. I thought that there was a Talon 1204, but then I could have sworn that I went looking for it and I couldn't find it, but here it is. Sitting right here. Do they have a higher... Ooh, they've got a 6100 kV version of it. That's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to do this thing on 3S. I would take an even... Ooh! Yes, 7250 kV. Even better. Even better. Hell yeah. These are probably what I'm going to get. 6100 kV is not quite enough. 4600 kV is definitely not enough. So the reasoning behind wanting to go with a lower voltage battery and a higher kV motor on this particular rig is that, all right, so those are sold out, is that this is an AIO rig, and AIOs hate high voltage.
They hate CiottiFPV too! Because if you're flying KISS, you're flying at a demerit. That's the best. That's the best one yet. You can quote that shit on his freaking gravestone.
The word I just realized that disadvantage is the word that I meant to use, not demerit. Although I'm glad that I used the word demerit. You're flying at a disadvantage. That's what I meant to say, not demerit. But it sounds like I was right to use the word demerit. Guys, Patrick is here. Did you know that? Yeah, one of the ways to make an AIO last longer is instead of running 4S, you run 3S. If possible, I would love actually to run 2S on this. So I'm going to get the highest KV that I can here, which it looks like is 7250. Oh, balls. But it's just on a... It looks like it's just on a rotor build. Let's see if we can get a link to it. I just told chat the D word that I was groping for, it was disadvantage, not demerit. As soon as the word, I couldn't think of the word, and then I was like, demerit will work.
That was the best. I was like, when's the last time you even heard that word? Because you all go internal and you're like, when is the last time I used that word? No, I haven't heard that shit since I had one. Like 25 years ago. Fucking demerit. That's perfect.
All right, so I was right. Those motors don't exist. Well, it's not they don't exist, but they're not made anymore. So let's see. Are any of these actually in stock? 6100. So let's see. 60. That was supposed to. Are these in stock? Let's see. 5. Do we have 5? Hey, we have 5. Okay, so they. Oh, that's a 4-pack. Oh, it's a 4-pack. God damn it. Okay, so 6100 kV, that's okay. Can also get them in black. It looks like... Why does it... You're not... 4600. Does anybody happen to have these in... I would really love them in that 76... Was that it? 7600? I would really prefer these in the 7250 kV. If anybody has a line on these, I'll make it worth your while. Let's do this. I'm gonna just keep open a tab with this search. Oh, out of stock. Damn it. You like that?
What the fuck is this?
Oh no, it's out of stock. Yeah, dude, right? Those are Master Air Screw efficiency propellers. Don't they look ridiculous?
These exist.
Yeah. They make 2 different versions. So, hold on.
Can you put them on backwards? Wait, they're full these? This is great.
You can't put them on backwards.
Okay.
They're keyed.
Yeah,
so Master Air Screw makes 2 different styles of propeller for the Mavic Air 2. They make a stealth, which are specifically designed to be quieter, and then they make an endurance. So I got the endurance props because I think the endurance props will make a little bit more power. I don't care about noise. Mavics are very quiet. Yeah, I would love it to have a little bit more horsepower. So we'll see. I'm gonna test those out tomorrow. See how they are. They were expensive. They were like $30-something for that set of props. I was like,
because you're never gonna get shit with this.
That's exactly it. Yep. They're only ever gonna sell 1 set of those props per person, per pilot, whatever. Although I don't know. Are we really gonna call DJI people pilots? Are we really gonna do that? Is that something that we're gonna do?
Operators. They're operators.
Operators.
They
Yeah.
have to wear a vest.
They have to answer the phone. Guys, how the hell do I find these? Wow, look at this. There were only 9. Jesus, I don't know if I've ever done a Google search that hasn't had a second page of results. Yikes. So these are going to be hard to find. What's hockey? Oh, you bastard. All right, so hockey is no good. So yeah, there's the Hunt. Talon 1204 7250 kV motors. If anybody can find them, let me know. And I will be your best friend forever. All right, I went all crazy opening these tabs. Let's get this. Hey, there we go. Aircon says 1202.5, 11,500 kV from Happy Model. 1202.5 is not going to be quite enough. I want either a 1204 or 1105, or a 1304 would work, but I'm pretty sure that doesn't exist, or a 1404 would also work. Kenny Kobe says someone on Amazon, maybe Betaflight 1404, their plugin. Kenny, what did you search for on Amazon to find those 1404s? That sounds pretty good, as long as the KV is high enough. Ooh, JRFPV says Eachine 1204 5000 kV. I want something higher than, if possible, I'd like something higher than 5000 kV. Because yeah, like I said, I would love to get this down on the 2S. If I can get this down on the 2S, that's gonna really help the AIO hopefully stay alive. But 3S is fine. And I am gonna put like a 5-blade propeller on here, so maybe I don't need all of this KV, but it's always safer to have extra KV, and then you could just motor limit it down a little bit. Ooh, good suggestions, guys. Let me well, I can get these Talons. I've had a really good experience with the Talon motors so far. So the Talon 1204s, I would much rather have a Talon 1204 than an Eachine 1204 or a Happy Model 1204, even though it's 1202.5. So thus far the Talons are the best of what we've found, but yeah, keep the suggestions coming. I am actually going to pull the Eachines up because I am just forever curious. Does GepRC have one too? Tell me this has the plug. Tell me it's got that plug. It's got the plug! Okay, so GepRC has a 1204 as well. Look at us go. Yo! Okay. What's the Eachine look like? Let's take a quick look at the Eachine. I've been pretty impressed by GepRC motors. So this looks an awful lot like a Happy Model motor. Eachine is not known for making good things. So if it's made by Eachine, that's not really much of a step up from Happy Model. So I'm gonna pass on that one. So it's gonna be between the GepRC at 5000 kV and the Tiny Talon at 6100, and I'll almost certainly do the Tiny Talon, especially because it's on sale for $38 for 4, whereas the GepRCs are $11 per. Matthew Vega's in the house. He says, speaking of frame design, how's your 3-inch coming along? I got a couple rip squeaks and they're great. Would be fun to compare to yours. Yeah, it's we talked about it a little bit ago. We're gonna get it together for sure this summer, and yeah, it's gonna get compared to rip squeaks as well. Here's the long and short of it. The rip squeak frame is so good that I just kind of stopped paying attention to my frame. Like, before the rip squeaks, it was like, yo, we don't have any good 3-inch freestyle frames. They don't exist. So I was really motivated to get my frame designed. But then the rip squeaks came out, and it was like, well, this is already being made, and they're really good. And the other thing that I really like about the rip squeaks is, like, there's 2.5-inch arms, there's 3-inch thin arms, there's 3-inch heavyweight arms, there's 3.5-inch arms, there's 4-inch arms. So, yeah. And, you know, we can just buy it. We don't have to design it. Kenny Kobe says, can I run 2506 on a 5-inch and scale them down? Absolutely. Kenny Kobe also says, anyone have an AIO F4 flight controller 30mm 25 mounting for sale. Chat, there you go. Marty Wasick says, I messaged you on Patreon about the RC and Power Motors the other day. Awesome, Marty. I will put them aside for you. I did not see your Patreon message, but they are now officially set aside for you, my man. Put them down there. That's even more aside. Yeah, look at this. Got their pippin. Look at that. T-Bird sent that. Wait, you've seen that? It's all.
Flew this.
It's all bound. Oh, that's right. You flew that. It's all bound up and ready to go now, though.
This is KISS.
And look at look at that
this
mount.
is flying at a demerit.
Oh.
You don't want to fly this. This.
Look at this mount.
Do you know what the coolest thing about this is? This
I got to show you guys something.
Oh, this is Brain 3D, dude. They're the bomb. Look at look how perfect that is.
Brian from Brain 3D worked with
Holy
me
hell.
on this mount, and you might see this little improvement on the Brain mounts moving forward. Check this out. Here,
That is
just
actually
for a second.
That is a perfect
So,
freaking print.
So I've always flown these BMC 3D mounts, guys. You've heard me talk about these a million times. One of the things I like the most about these mounts, the BMC 3D mounts, A, is that they're front load. I love the front load style. But B, there's a little extra bit of material here. See that? See how it like bumps out? It's all worn away because it gets hit so often.
The Ciotti bump.
But there's an extra little bit of material here, right? Most of your hits, as you can see by how mangled it is on the top corner, most of your hits are on this front corner. So having a little bit of extra TPU on this front top edge makes a really big difference, I think. So Brain 3D has these side load mounts, and one of the problems that I always had with the side load mounts is that the top part of the mount was just straight across, and my sessions like really took much more abuse. So I explained this all to Brian, and he added this little like tongue to the top, and he also threw one on the bottom, which is awesome. So yeah, you guys might, I bet you, if you order a side load mount from Brain 3D, I bet you if you say in the notes, yo, I saw the Ciotti custom whatever lip on the top of his, can you do that for me? I bet you he could add that in for you guys to a side load mount that you run. So yeah.
That is a perfect
Brain 3D, yo.
print, dude. That is a perfect print.
Isn't it? My
I've always
God.
enjoyed his shit.
It's just so good.
It's perfect.
The big problem with these front load mounts is that you have to print them like this, so they print vertically. So when you put a bunch of force front and back, it eventually rips the layers apart. These side load mounts, they get printed from their side, so they are incredibly strong in this direction. So with those side load mounts, you don't have to constantly melt them back together like I have to do all the time on these front loads.
Have you flown this yet?
But yeah, I have not. I'm looking forward to it,
Are
though.
you gonna?
Yeah, I am. Dude, it's
Demerit
bound.
and all.
It's demerit and all. I gotta figure the switches out. There's a.
Do you want my DJI controller so you can hate it just a little bit more?
Oh, look at this.
You did not get one. You did not get one. What is this? This will work on a freaking... It won't work on this.
I don't
Oh my God, look
think
at
so.
the size of this thing.
Right?
That thing weighs more than the...
Joshua sent me his smart controller for me to use on this live flying gig on the 9th. So that's what I just handed Patrick. Dude, it's pretty cool. You can use you can use it with the Mavic. You don't have to have your phone in the bottom. You just go. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Did you use the iPad?
That's
or you
pretty
only
cool.
using your phone on that?
I've not used the iPad yet. I just got a cable that's long enough yesterday.
This was fun.
I've used my phone.
This was fun. I do like how you can disable the gyro. It has that little thing.
Right.
You can do your...
Right.
But you can do that in beta flight, I guess, if you know how.
Yeah.
Didn't you say so?
Yep.
It's
Joshua has a
very
video.
neat where you can check the props and stuff. Snap rolls were very snappy.
Metal Dirtskin says, I found those pinch sticks don't go as far down on the thread as I might like. I end up grabbing them down where the prickly part starts. I noticed that too, Metal. They're definitely longer. I'm okay with a little bit of extra... I'm okay with a little bit of extra length.
That's what she said.
But you never want it to be too long. Am I right, ladies?
Never a problem.
Never a problem that any of us FPV pilots have. Nickel Stick says, what battery size do you use on your daily 5-inch Success Quad?
Back to size.
Tattoo, R-Line,
1050.
3 to 5 minutes of runtime, depending on how nose down you are. Typically 4 to 5 minutes. Metal Dirtskin says, Patrick truly is the Andy Richter to your Conan O'Brien.
Oh, sure. Let me get my Gem Fan hat on. I work in this hat,
There it
goddammit. I'm Ed McMahon to Johnny Carson, big boy. Come on.
Dan636 says, I don't have home insurance, however, that 5S is already being storage charged. Nice. Patrick Rand says, 10 demerits get you detention. Yeah, flying kiss is like having detention. Metal Dirtson says, a 4...
I mean, you gotta be as good as steel to fly it. You know what I mean? Like, nobody can diss his talent, but you can diss his rig.
This motherfucker's so good, even he can fly kiss well.
Am I wrong, ladies? The same ladies that he was talking to earlier. Yeah.
Oh, shit. This motherfucker is so good.
You think he ever cheats
He
and
can
puts beta
even
flight and shit and then tell you,
We would know right away.
Falco, bitch.
Right?
Falco X.
Oh, God. I'm gonna get into so much trouble. Veritas Weasel says, when I die, I would be honored if you would fly your drone freestyle around my grave.
That'd be awesome.
Deal, Veritas.
40 years, please.
Avix says, Flywoo Robo 1204. Oh, 8,000 kV. Holy shitters. Good call. And they have plugs? I'm assuming they have plugs. Let's see if they have plugs. We got some Tokas. They're not going to have plugs.
Those are 5,000.
0802, that ain't the one. Hey, right here in front of me. On Get FPV, too. Now we're talking. Do you got them plugs? Show me the plugs. Show me! Wow, it doesn't say anywhere whether or not they have the plugs. That's weird. Why you gotta do that to me? Are they? They're out of stock. All right, so they're out of stock.
Not ashamed of their hair plug replacement.
Can't even tell. Grizz FPV says the Robos can't take a hit. That's okay. This is a cinematic rig. What's up with these Tokas? They're not gonna have a plug.
Yeah, he doesn't crash.
I don't crash. What are you kidding me? Just
Well, I
don't
need
crash.
molded ducks. If I had molded ducks all the time, I wouldn't have to worry about it.
You fly those, by the way?
Absolutely.
Did you? They're good, right?
I didn't break them yet.
Break them.
Trying.
You won't.
I can't.
All right, let's try. Yo, where are these Robos at? Don't get my hopes up. 8,000 kV.
Make him a moderator so you can attach a link or something.
5150. What nonsense is this? Tell me who's got them, and I'll look them up.
RDQ.
RC and Power 1204 8000s. These are the ones. No, they're not. No, these don't have the plugs. No plugs on these. All right. Oh. Oh, no, that's an 0802. All right. Athix, let me know where you found those. CMYK says happy Friday.
Absolutely. Happy Friday. Holy shit.
Look at that. Caught up on chat. All right, cool. Let's solder up some Axis power motors to a glide. Old tech.
Joe, check that. You knew that one, didn't you? You can tell from here. Joe, check that Bardwell quote. Anyone who says analog FPV is better is full of shit.
When did he say that on the news the other day?
No, when he was on his, that garage. He goes in the garage.
Yeah.
And his truck was full of snow, and he was like, anyone who thinks that HD isn't better than analog is full of shit.
That sounded so familiar. I'm like,
And then he
swear to God, I've
commences
heard him
to
say
fly
that.
it, right? And then he commences to fly his HD one right down, and it sucks really bad. And like his rapid fire got further. So it's just like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I flew.
It looks good back here, though. I mean,
Did
it
you-
looks good.
I know, right? It is a good looking rig.
Yeah.
I did 4 freestyle batteries on Adult. Did you see at the beginning of the stream? I filmed vertically.
I was flying, actually.
All right, I'm gonna put this on so that.
Sorry, guys, if you're having to watch this again.
No, I'm gonna put a different battery on.
Perfect. So you get extra bonus footage because I'm here. That's even better.
All right, ready? So I need to go to video and I need to rotation 90 degrees.
So do you just come home and just put it on your shit like immediately, and that's like a thing you do every time?
Nah.
Or do you just have it ready?
I just have it ready.
You just have it ready.
It's always at the ready.
I'm streaming.
Streaming.
Look how clean that
Why
looks.
is there no audio?
Look how clean it looks, though, dude. Your videos
Look at
look
it.
so fucking clean.
Isn't it cool with the vertical though?
It is very
Switch.
cool.
It's so I did this kind of like specifically for Instagram, right? Like because there's no other reason to film vertically like this. But like I don't know, I don't hate it. I will say I was specifically trying to do as much pitch as I could. I was trying to like really fly in a way that would cater to the verticalness, to the verticality.
Right. Fly the camera, not the drone.
Yeah, which was kind of fun, but yeah, cool little spot. I drive by this spot all the time. It's right on Old Milton, up by
You've flown that
85.
before.
I haven't. This is the first time I flew it.
No. We've flown that before.
Really? Yeah, it's right on the side
Maybe
of the...
Rusty or something.
Right on the side of the
I think
highway.
Rusty's flown that.
That guy's flown everything.
Yeah, he has flown everything.
My God.
Rusty Signal, check out his footage. Yeah, he's flown everything. Nice, very nice.
He's the.
You need to put it back up in the top window though next time. So when you
I
stop
know,
by next
man.
time, take your Matty flip and
I was
a
trying,
nice stall
man.
on the cross,
Right.
man.
I was trying to
Great
do a
job.
little bit more work in those little windows, but I was just not.
So clean.
I was not
Such a clean flyer you are.
in top form.
You like lights? I like lights.
Maybe this one will hit me in the face.
No,
Maybe
goals to
not.
get close and not hit.
There were also the like 3 cars in the parking lot were that's us. I hit that sign and it
Yeah,
did
that
not-
was it, huh?
It did not go well.
It didn't go well.
Hold on, we'll let the rest of this play out. Yeah, I was trying to do more in there,
Ooh.
but I was just not feeling it. I was having
Yeah,
a hard time.
couple
getting
packs in
locked
there,
in.
and you'd have something that you'd.
This was the 4th battery, so I was finally starting to kind of get it, but man, I just couldn't. That like.
It's perfect though. It's
That-
perfect for that type of like train flying where
Yeah,
you can
right?
just practice and practice and practice, go up another level.
Right.
And if you don't and you're wrong, you really, really break your shit. Yeah, there
See,
you
like
go.
there,
Yeah.
like,
No, you knew what you were.
I was-
You had it though.
Yeah.
You had it. We always have it, don't we, gentlemen? We always have it until we don't. And it's usually that goddamn second guessing. It's when you let
Yep.
your brain come in. Your muscle memory's got it, fellas. Your muscle
you
memory's
guys
got
saw
it.
this one. Hold on. I don't know why it rewound back like this.
Just because you
Here's-
crashed into a sign.
Here's one more. MP4.
Cheers, folks.
Here's another one. Hold on. The stream's gonna pinwheel for a second. Let's get some audio going. Be right back.
That's something.
There we go. Okay. Now we got some. Oh, the mic is blowing up on this GoPro. All right. Well, whatever. Here's a little bit more from that spot.
Is that a session?
It is. It is a session. It's so nice. You just rotate it 90 degrees and stuff it in the mount. You don't have to buy a separate mount. No screwing around.
The props you're flying.
So this is the Axis Power 4.9s. I really like them.
Just
I'm
trying
really
to give you an
impressed.
opportunity to shout out your goddamn sponsor, but
I
okay.
know. I was. The plan was to fly these and then to put the GemFan 4.9s on
to get a better video.
to get even better flight footage.
Right.
But it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
I flew these and then I was like, all right, I'm done, going home. So next time I go out, I flew the GemFan 5143.3s and then I flew these 4.9s,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was going to switch to the GemFans, but I just didn't have enough batteries to do it.
God, I know what you wanted to do there.
I know.
You want to own it. You just want to own it completely, and it would just take a couple of packs. That's all it would take.
Yeah, I just kept thinking like,
And a
you
guarantee
haven't
no
flown
one
in
would
a
come
while.
out the doors.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Haven't flown in a while. It's all good. Just
Nice.
chill.
Yeah, no,
That was
perfect.
a big one.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That one felt good.
That throttle. Knowing that throttle. Knowing the throttle is key. Oof.
It was wild the whole time. I'm like, man, this ain't a Cinewhoop.
Yeah. I remember I texted you the other day and I was telling you the 5-inch experience again.
Ugh, so good. It just flies better than anything.
It really, really does. And you get your 3-inch like perfect, and you've been flying like 75 packs through your 3-inch, and it's gotten so good. You're like, oh, this is so fucking tits.
This is good
I
enough.
wonder what it's like to fly a 5-inch. And so you just take whatever's on your wall. And you don't even remember in what status it is.
Whooped ass
right?
5-inch
Yeah,
ring
it
off
could
your
be like
wall.
you don't even know.
Doesn't matter.
It's bound. Fuck it. Let's fly it, right? And then some bitch, you're like, oh shit! I can do all those things I want to do.
Yep. It is just. I mean, like for this size space,
Look at
there's
that.
there's
Look at that.
nothing better.
It's perfection right there.
Nothing better.
Nice, nice.
But at the same time, like, if I really wanted to get nasty with that little area, and I just stayed in that little area, a 3-inch rig would be great, and it would actually be a little bit more. No, it's better. 5-inch is better.
It really is.
I mean,
If you were restrained, though,
it's getting better.
yeah,
3-inch is getting
it's
better.
pretty freaking badass.
It's good.
You got to have a lot right, though. You got to have a lot right.
Good
You got to
God,
have
yeah.
more right in a 3-inch than you do on a 5-inch.
You got to work way harder. The build has to be way more dialed, for sure. Unquestionable. And that's annoying.
It's a great video.
And then, you can't just bash the shit out of the propellers and bend them back straight. You're changing propellers.
No, you're done.
almost
Yeah,
every
no,
day.
you're done. Oh, you hit something.
Right.
Sweet.
See you in
You
5
want
minutes.
to watch this back? Land.
You want to have somewhat usable footage?
Right?
Get your ass on the ground. It's true. I hate
No
it.
joke, man.
I hate that it's that, but at the moment it is still that. Other than the T-Motor 3140s. The T-Motor 3140s are strong enough.
That sky just makes it.
Right.
You
And
know?
this was like no ND. I was being all lazy. I'm like, I don't know, put an ND
It's
filter on.
great.
It's
It's
fine.
wonderful.
It's fine. It'll be
It's
okay.
great footage, yeah. Air
It's
that
fine
shit.
for fun.
That's why it's fun. I'm gonna do one more snap rule. No, two, fuck it, 2 more. Last back, 3 more.
Or just a dozen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at 3.6 on throttle. It's all good.
Oh my god, I'll tell you what, having proper OSD was really nice. Jeez. So there you guys go.
Nice.
There's a little more
Nicely played.
footage. I gotta turn it off of Super View, I think. If I turn it off Super View, that vertical footage will be even better.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. For the people who are missing the CiottiFPV logo,
Hey, there it is.
we're back in style.
Denzel the Terrible says hello. Dusty Joe says been messing around with the rear bottom camera mount for the Ripsqueak. Does the mount need to be directly on the frame, or try to dampen it? It depends. It depends on the motors. It depends on how clean the build is. Typically, with 3-inch rigs, to not have jello-y HD footage, there usually does need to be some damping going on. But yeah, it depends. It depends on the motors that you choose. Some of the motors out there are just straight up too coggy right out of the box. Most of them, actually. And then it also depends on how many hits your motors have taken. That's going to change the situation quite a bit as well. So a couple different variables there, but it ain't like 5-inch at all. It's a constant thing to try to not have jello. Yarb says, 3-inch Ripsqueak Maiden, I came in, just nicked my deck trying to land all smoothly. Wind Dancer Prob lost a blade immediately. Yeah, I've been trying to get GemFan to design a more durable, like 30 pitch 3-inch prop, but it's tough because it's not the hype train. That's like a very niche kind of product and they're a business, so
Dude, this is awesome.
we'll see.
I've never seen this before.
Yeah, right?
Everybody signed it?
From the original, right?
Oh my god, this
That's
is my
weird.
favorite signature.
I know.
Dribby, Bot, got them all on there. That's awesome, dude. Is that 2018?
2018.
All the way back.
Show chat. Nobody knows what you're talking about. They're going to get pissed off.
Look at that. Look at your boy with the memorabilia.
Memorabilia. Put it right
Camera
here.
at?
Right here.
Whew. Let me just solder on that. Which way's up? Which way's upright? Everything's reversed. Look at your boy. He even put the heart in there.
So this is from Quad Camp Atlanta, way back when, before they figured out how to properly design a
Oh, come on. That's
lanyardy
fine.
thing.
It's fine.
Most of them fell apart. I have one of the only ones
It's
that didn't
still
fall
here.
apart.
Everything's
still
positive about this. Look.
Look at this.
Yeah, that's
There
what I
you
thought.
go.
You got Bot, you got Stingy. Who's this guy on the right? Is that Jack Johnson? What's going on?
Joshua Bardwell.
Bardwell, SB, JB. I usually just see the JB, right?
Who's DC? Who's that?
Or DA. Is DC, DA?
Who the hell was that? I'm trying to think who was there. Yeah, and then there's Rampage 2018, and then we didn't get anything for Rampage last year. We got T-shirts, but there were no lanyards.
Oh my
or
god, it just broke.
All right, Axis power motors are getting chopped down to length. Looks like they use 20 gauge wire. I kind of dig that they use the red wire in the middle. That's pretty cool. Just for funsies. Athix says, ask Patrick if he has had issues with the negative pad on Mamba ESCs. Athix says, not sticking with solder. I've had 2 ESCs now that will not fully weld to the negative pad. Athix, are you sure you're getting it hot enough? And are you getting a shitload of flux on there? Make sure you got a flux pen.
I've had it happen too, but not
on
I
the
wouldn't
Mamba
say
ones.
No, not specifically
Right.
the Mamba. Like,
Right.
I don't know. Has everyone fought that? Wait, is it too hot or is it too cold? Like, I'm sure he's been down those. Too hot, too cold. Both will produce those results. Not enough flux. If it's not clean, it won't stick. If you don't have the pad hot enough, but still.
Usually it's a heat problem.
Yeah,
Usually
heat
it's
transfer from the iron.
the negative pad is jacked into like a big thick piece of copper on that PCB. So that's going to take the heat that your soldering iron is putting into it and spread it out. So
but he's saying the
that would be
negative
my
pad
guess.
specifically because he's probably got the positive pad soldered,
Right.
like totally fine.
Right.
And for some reason, it's talking about the negative pad. I have not experienced any kind of like specific. It
What
wouldn't be produced any different way, I imagine, than the positive pad.
what soldering iron, Athix?
Yeah, what temperature?
Crank that fucker all the way up.
I imagine he's tried many.
Crank it up,
It's
fucker!
usually not clean. If the solder won't transfer, you don't have heat transfer from the tip to the pad, and you can help that with what? Adding solder to the tip, right?
Yep.
And then you can get some transfer that way. But yeah, it shouldn't be any different from anything else.
Right. I mean, if you're having a
coated?
harder time with the Mambas, that's kind of a good thing because that means that they're using like an extra thick layer.
Coating, you're saying, like something?
And or they've got some kind of a heat sink set up where it's like really sucking up the heat and spreading the heat out. So that could be a good thing.
Are you tinning the pad first? I mean, is that what you're loading it with solder first, and that won't stick? Is it like beating off of the pad?
Good question.
Right? Trying to figure out what he's saying.
My guess, though, Athix, is that your soldering iron is just not either A, getting hot enough, or B, I think it's actually B, I think your soldering iron is not maintaining heat. My original soldering iron that I had forever, it didn't have a temperature sensor in the tip of the iron. It was just a dial. And you put the dial to a number, and that was just how hard it would push. The better soldering irons, the TS100, the Weller 1010, the Hako, they've got an actual thermocouple in the tip So when you put the soldering iron down on that ground pad and it starts soaking up the heat, the soldering iron knows that and it pushes harder. It pushes more heat into the tip to compensate. Yeah. So if you've got like a less expensive soldering iron,
Crank it up.
Yeah, crank it all the way up.
Crank it up.
Athix
Burn that
says,
shit out.
I've soldered fine. It's just, I think I have a good joint, but it breaks away. It's a TS100, 400 Celsius.
Wow. So he's got.
What battery are you hooking up to the TS100? If you're only hooking up like a 3S or a 4S, hook up a 6S. And that's going to do a better job. Yeah, like when you put that tip down on that pad, it's going to...
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's going to suck up all the heat.
Yeah. Increase the voltage of the TS100.
Athix says, I think I have a good joint, but it breaks away. Yeah, so the joint breaking away, that's a cold solder joint. That means that enough temperature has not penetrated into that.
You got the wire hot enough, the solder hot enough, but not the pad.
Yeah, you didn't transfer enough heat into the... Well, you did... Yeah, you transferred enough heat into the pad, but then the ESC is sucking it up, and it's pulling the heat away from the pad too quickly. Athix says, I made a custom power supply for it. Wow, damn. That...
The man knows how to solder, sure.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're doing everything right.
Yeah.
Damn. I mean, it sounds like a classic case of cold solder joint.
It breaks away clean. And the pad still remains, and it breaks away clean. That's... Solder comes with the wire.
What the custom power supply that you made, what voltage is that putting on it? I know the TS100, from what I've heard, I don't have one, but from what I've heard, the TS100 really wants a 6S power, like 6S amount of voltage. So if that power supply you made is not putting 6S voltage into that thing, then maybe that's the issue. If you have a 6S battery, you can just hook it up and see if that's any better. Yeah. This is one of the reasons that I got this Weller 1010. Like it's got a big old power supply. It's like a big boy. I've heard great things about the TS100, but it being so small kind of freaks me out a little bit.
It's good for field work, man.
Great for field work.
I have built a quad on it.
Have you?
And it works well, and
Yeah.
you can do what you need to do. And
Yeah.
there are better things, but there are worse things.
Right, right. All right, one more motor to strip here. We'll get it tinned, and then we'll zap it up. We'll zap it in the zap.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Are you getting the tip flat as you can on the pad, Athix? Don't come in with the tip at like a 45-degree angle because you're not going to get a good contact patch. Get the tip nice and flat and try to get as much of the tip flat on the pad. That's going to transfer, more surface area. It's going to transfer heat a little bit more cleanly, kind of thing. Maybe your TS100 is shit in the bed. Maybe it's just, taking too much abuse. Maybe it got left on one too many times. Am I the only one that leaves soldering irons on all the time?
I did one time. It was really bad.
I've left
It
this
was hours.
On.
It was hours.
Dude, I've left this on overnight.
Oh.
More than once. More than once. I come out in the morning and I'm like, all right,
tip.
great. And I see luckily it comes down to 360 degrees.
Oh, nice.
But it was at 360 degrees for like 8 hours.
Keeping the house warm. For the people.
Just doing it. That's how you got to do it. That's how we do it in America.
Is this Cinecharging here? Is that what's happening over here?
Say again?
Is this Cinecharging?
What do you mean Cinecharging?
These are all your Cinepacks charging.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I got
parallel Cinecharging. And I gotta tell you, everybody, it is completely perfect.
What is?
There are incubators of batteries over here in perfect order. Probably in order of date of purchase and arrival.
Nah.
Date stamped.
I'm not that crazy.
They're pretty freaking perfect over here. Is this a Bardwell board? Yeah, it is.
You're goddamn right it is.
It's got 2 of them. It hasn't burned down an apartment yet.
There's a third one at Maggie's.
That's the V2. Those work really good.
I actually haven't bought the V2 yet. I want one because I think the layout is a little bit better.
Yeah, I was thinking, what makes a V2 better than a V1 charge board?
Well,
One doesn't burn down the house, and one burns down the house.
Wait, there's not a problem with the V1s, is there?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're just talking shit.
No, I'm just relating to his flight controller. That's all.
Oh no! Oh no!
Just saying personal experiences.
Yeah,
that's
you got
all.
I
I
never
got
bought one
burned, but
get...
I was taken care of, and that was very important to
Yeah,
Barbell. And
how did
that's
that?
important to me too. So
tell that
killed it.
story if you don't mind.
Well, I don't know. Does everyone here know about the first JB Bardwell? V1? Well, he has the
Probably.
first F4. There was an F4,
What are we doing?
and then the first F4 had, I don't know, I blew the shunt resistor and it hit me in the fucking forehead, but...
Forgot about that.
It did.
Oh, that's right.
And upon dealing with that, I had two of them. I bought two of them. I was excited to get Bardwell's board. It was an introduction into him to FPV, and I just wanted to support it. If nothing else, I wanted to support. And the V1s were shit. They were terrible. I don't think it was a 5-volt regulator like the rest of them. It was something else like shunt resistors in the forehead. But in all defense, RDQ, I think, isn't that where he launched it?
Yeah.
They took care of it like nobody's business, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't have. They sent the V2s. The V2s were great. The V2s were great, but the V1s were always a piece of shit. So it's kind of a joke. It's kind of a joke. Like, we're really proud of you for coming out with an FPV product, and we thank you. We, from the bottom of our hearts, we stand with
Together as
everyone
one.
as one, as a collective, and we thank you for furthering the hobby. Don't misunderstand us. But that V1 shit. That's a charity. That is to get you to V2 so we can all fly. So that's my experience with V1.
Anything.
Yeah, anything.
Really?
It's not just Bardwell stuff. If anything, Bardwell's stuff, V1, is well thought out V1 stuff.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? I mean, he's a champion of the hobby.
It
and
may have been
he'll never be. You
mismanufactured.
can't dispute that. You can not like the guy. I don't care. But he champions and he moves his hobby more forward than.
If you don't like the guy,
Anyway.
get the fuck out.
Yeah, it's your problem. But that doesn't mean his fucking electronics work out the gate.
Right.
My first two boards were charity, but we got it back. Like, they fucking took it back. And I don't mind wiring that shit up and helping Bardwell fucking further our hobby.
Right.
So, charity it is. But I also call it for what it is, and it was fucking shit.
I still got that mark on my forehead.
So
like it
these
says.
parallel boards you have down here on your carpet, but they are placed on a mildly synthetic fire resistant pad. So
It's fine.
but you have parallel chargers attached to the parallel charger.
I'm in the room. What do you mean?
You have
Oh, yeah.
parallels like
Yeah.
attached to the.
Yeah, that's key right there. That's
Okay,
key.
you're doing that because you need to get to a different cell.
Dude, you need to get you some of them. That is the
I think the V2.
setup right
I think
there.
the V2 has the XT30
It does.
on board.
It does.
Yeah, I fly a lot of those, right?
Yep.
So what do you like about this so much? What's going on here?
You can just do anything. You can do 2S, 3S, 4S, 5S, 6S, and then on the 4S board I have the little XT60 to XT30s.
Are these converted XT30 to 60 packs? What
No,
are
you can buy them like that.
What is this?
You can buy them like that. They're actually cheap. I got 6 of those for like $10 a battery, I think, from RDQ at one point. It's really cheap.
What the fuck is going on with these? Why are they doing? What's going on?
What?
Why add the weight?
No, I have XT30s on all my Cinewhoops. For less weight. Because that's the kind of guy that I am. Are you still confused? I can literally hear
You can,
Patrick's
can't you?
confusion. I can hear
What am I looking at?
the slight squeakiness
Am I not
in
looking
the gears in his
a
brain.
heat shrink XT30 attached to an XT60 adapter?
Yeah, because the board is XT60, but the
So?
batteries are XT30.
Okay, so the adapter stays on the board.
Yeah. The adapter is
I'm
usually
sorry,
on the
I
6S.
apologize. You need a V2. That's what I'm saying. You need a V2 Bardwell charger and you'll be fine.
Ooh, yikes.
You wouldn't be so confused if you had a V2. I thought that came with the battery. Wow.
CiottiFPV says, have you ever taken one of those Axis flying motors apart? They have an interesting design. I have, yeah. It's interesting that the way that they have tried to... I don't think it'll... I think it'll actually make the situation worse, if I'm honest. I know what they're trying to do, but I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. There's a Saturday Night Live skit about like things that old people say, and one of the things that old people tend to say is like, they'll be like, "Who's that kid across the street? What's he doing? Just standing there. What's he doing? What's that kid doing across the street? He's just standing there." And then like the old lady will come over and is like, "I don't know about that. I don't know about that kid standing there. I don't know about that." It's a thing. I don't know. So that's what that's from, guys. In case you were wondering. In case me saying that made no sense. Right. Motor number 2. Let's get you on here. What do you say?
What's up with these piney type stick ends you got on this radio?
Yo!
What is that about? They feel like mini pine trees.
The kit has grown. The stick end kit has grown significantly.
I was listening and wow.
Right?
That's all the same
And there's
company?
Yeah.
No way!
And those are just the M4s. I got all those doubled.
Holy shit!
I got doubled up because I got all the M3s as well.
Look at that! Wow, that's amazing.
You should actually take that kit with. Wait, what is your radio? You should.
I have an X9B. It's the same as your.
Is it M3 or M4? Do you know?
Fuck, man, come on.
You should take that kit now.
Wow.
Because I'm not really ready to send it. Isn't it?
What does that do for you?
I haven't flown those yet.
You haven't flown these?
I flew the bigger ones.
These are sticky for a freaking...
Sticky as fuck, right? I like
for
them
a picture?
lot. I like them a lot.
I think it might be good for Cinewoop.
Doesn't it look like it would be uncomfortable too?
But
like
I think you really grip.
But then
the
it's
fucking...
not. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I'm really impressed by the thumb grippies
wow.
stick ends. And the 533 Evan Turners are very similar. So I'm excited about those as well.
Wow, look at the freaking
Isn't that grippy as shit? I
points
ain't
on
kidding.
these things. These things are molded.
Yeah.
That's
I think they're
intense.
I think they're Delrin. It
wow,
looks like the color of
acetal.
Delrin.
Wow. Acetal Delrin, yeah, I'm from the plastics business, man.
That's
We used to
right,
make
that's
this
right,
stuff.
that's
it's
right.
really durable shit.
It might be nylon, but
Nylon's more durable,
it might be Delrin.
but it's close.
Yeah. I wonder if he says it. I wonder if he's got it on his
Give me
website.
a
Let's
lighter
take a
and I'll
look.
tell you what it is. There's formaldehyde in Delrin. If you
Oh my
actually
god,
burn
really?
it, if you try and burn it, you will burn your ass out with some formaldehyde.
All right, let's see. Let's see if he says all grip, no slip. Just so that you got, just to reiterate this, Thumb Grippies gave me 50% off on the $200+ in Thumb Grippies that I ordered. So yeah, even if you don't get in on the kit, support these guys.
This is really cool that somebody is making this
Their website's broken.
Look at all these freaking designs.
Try Safari. Isn't that wild?
Look at that one. How the hell is he doing that?
I don't know, dude. I don't know how
How
they're.
is he making that?
I don't get it.
Look at the freaking definition on those tips.
It's wild, right?
That's something.
Come on, come on,
That's
come
gotta wear out over time.
Oh my It did start to get a little dirty.
Yeah,
I will
maybe
say
some-
that.
Some alcohol. You need a real durable plastic like Delrin and nylon, but still, you're still
damn
gonna
it.
round these things out.
His website just
You
will
pack them in a bag or something.
work. Let me try to go to his website on the Mini. Hold on. Thumb. Oops.
Wow. They look good on the radio too, actually.
Grippies. Yeah, they do look good. And you can get them in red. He just did a run with for We Bleed FPV, and they're red. Okay, so I'm looking at it at the website over here.
I will totally get some red ones. I will totally buy some red.
Thumb drops are a certain. Nah, he doesn't say what
They
material they're
look
made of.
exactly like that. You know how you go through McDonald's and you never get the Big Mac that looks like the one in the picture. Those actually look exactly like what's in these bags.
Exactly as advertised.
They are just as sharp, and they dig right into your finger.
Just right in there.
Wonderful.
But they're not uncomfortable.
They're not uncomfortable.
Like the metal ones that are really sharp like that, they're uncomfortable as fuck. But these are not. I'm super impressed. I'm gonna message him.
Very cool.
On Facebook and ask him what material they're made of. Here he is. Thumb grippies.
Props to that guy.
What material are these made of? Looks like Delrin, or maybe nylon?
It's probably nylon.
Alright, cool. So we'll get an answer at some point.
Wow. That makes them more durable.
Athix says, I lay the bitch sideways. Athix, I think that your TS100 might be shit in the bed, brother. That's the only... I mean...
Yeah, that would be the biggest
I know that you know how to solder.
Yeah, it's the biggest pad you have to do.
It's yeah, like that pad is the test of whether or not your soldering iron is up to the job. And that's just the only thing I can think of. I can't think of, you know, you're using flux, you're laying the tip down flat, you're giving it enough time, I'm assuming. I think you might want to borrow a buddy's soldering iron and sanity check your TS100. Or buy another TS100 from Amazon and then just return it.
Bonus. Under your affiliate link, of course.
Under my affiliate link. I mean, Christ, you know what? You didn't hear this from me, but I mean, you could buy the same model of TS100 from Amazon and then return yours. There's really nothing to stop you from doing that.
My bad. He would never endorse such behavior, but I will.
Yeah, don't do that unless you do it. Then tell me about it, because I find that kind of shit to be funny. I try not to do it, but you know, I'm not gonna lie and say that I haven't done it. But you know, you shouldn't do that unless you do. Then you know, feel good about getting back at the man. Amazon's, you know, they could do more philanthropic work. They could be better philanderers.
Yeah. They just voted to unionize in New York today.
Amazon?
Yes, they did.
Really?
First time. New York?
Interesting.
Yes, it is.
Was it, I mean, did any idea if like Amazon fought tooth and nail against that or anything like that? You know what I mean?
Not publicly.
Yeah, right.
Not publicly.
So yes, then. Got it.
Enough people voted. Let's just say enough people voted to unionize.
Right.
I think that's all that really needs to be said at that point. Their margin is like 1.1%.
Oh boy.
It's all volume.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that shit when I was a product manager trying to get products onto Amazon. I was like, you're going to take how much money? What the fuck? How the hell much quantity are we going to have to push through your website to make anything?
Convenience.
Jeez.
Convenience chart. America, USA.
Yeah, right?
Convenience.
Late stage capitalism all day.
1% margin? Shit, that's all I need.
Better than Banggood.
As long as I don't have to wash my own dishes. Wash my own clothes. Go outside, endure weather. Sign me up.
Exist in the world.
Yeah, sign me up.
Alright, so I put a bunch of these motors on without putting screws in them, so let's take care of that. So we're all soldered up. Let's turn off the Weller 1010.
Link in the description.
Let me get caught up in the chat. Richard says, I had an issue with a Mamba ESC because I was soldering too hot. The pads are vented with holes, and the solder just drips through to the bottom of the pad. Interesting. Interesting.
That's because it was a Mamba.
Grizz FPV says, have you ever taken one of those Axis... Oh, no, we got that. Imp FPV says, do you use double-sided tape for the race wires or zip tie them onto the arm? Both, Imp FPV. You want to use VHB to insulate the race wire in case you scratch through the paint or whatever the hell they cover the PCB with. But then you also want to use a
3D printed zip tie.
Zip tie. You know, I have, yeah, I don't like these.
Yeah, but you put them on everything.
I know. Well, just because I bought them. They're ripping so frequently that I'm running out, and I'm not going to order more.
And make sure you bring your...
I actually like the
Take a
3D
little
printed
pass,
ones
yeah.
more.
You don't want to get too close. But
Yeah, nice big piece of VHB.
But you had purple zip ties there. I've got one of my
know.
that I noticed when I took the Vista out of it the other day. Like, that's Ciotti's. I wouldn't have a purple zip tie.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of them too. Alright, so these, I cut these motor wires just a little bit shorter than the previous ones on purpose to get this race wire up a little bit. Okay, there's the screw. It's easy for the race wire to butt right up against the arm and the base plate, which is not the best.
It's a pretty heavy screw you're using there.
Big boys!
Not long.
Love them socket
Not very
head
long
screws.
though. You're only grabbing a couple threads, I see.
On the Pro 4s, it's the perfect length.
Yeah.
These have
So
a
it
little
just
bit
goes right through.
stankier of a stank butt. These have a little bit thicker of a stator base. These are a lot heavier of a motor. These are like, I think these are more than 2 grams heavier, and they're still 2306 than the Pro 4s. I was like, yo, what?
Really, wow.
What am I doing here?
Keeping motors on your rig, I'd say.
I couldn't find a weight on these motors, so I was like, fuck it, I'll just order them. Yeah, it's the right length. For the record, guys, here's the easiest way to check if your screw is the right length. Put the screw through the hole, and then just put the motor flat against the base plate, and then you can just see. It's not showing up really well on the camera, but that's one of the easiest ways to make sure you
See, it's right here.
screws long enough. I can see it.
Can't you see it? It's right there.
It's right on the screen.
You're pointing at it.
Dummy.
At the screen. Look at the screen.
Okay. Couple of screws, couple of screws. Is this screw longer? What's happening here? Hold on. Nope, we're good. Athix says Amazon return policy is pretty nice, as is Target's. Just saying. 90 days, yo. No questions.
Home Depot style. Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm married.
They don't give a fuck. They're like, yo, bring it back.
You won't.
We'll reset.
That should be a return policy. If you get a successful business, your return policy says, bring it back in 90 days. You won't.
You won't, you lazy shit. That's why they can have those.
You'd
return
rather get
policies.
screwed out of the money than face me in a return line at Home Depot out
You'd
in the
rather
cold.
bitch and moan to all your friends
Fucking
about
won't do it.
how
You'll
bad this company is.
find a reason to use it later.
You
Hoarder.
You won't.
Return it in 90 days.
Bet you won't. Bet you.
Just end it right there.
Bet you
Bottom
won't.
of the receipt just says you won't. Bet you won't.
Oh my god. Yeah, I saw some crazy returns when I was working at Target in college.
Oh wow, yeah, I bet. Try to get
We're
some
bringing
Walmart
shit back with like no
Walmart branded
packaging, like obviously not sold by Target. I know I bought it here. Like, no, you didn't.
We have no record of ever carrying this internationally.
I've worked. I've worked here for a long time, and we've never sold that. Sorry.
Pre-internet.
It says Walmart on it.
That was pre-internet. Post-moon landing, but pre-internet. That's a very important time.
Moon landing.
That's when we had suspension, but not computers.
Suspension.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yup.
we still had it, but bias ply tires. They're round.
Nemesis FPV says, "Yo, living on the wild side, there are only 2 motor screws and no Loctite."
Oh,
So
my God.
most of my screws have a good amount of like dried up Loctite already on them. Some of them don't.
Yeah, that's
I'll
what it is.
admit. Some of them don't, but
250's
definitely
only got 2 screws.
Definitely not 2 screws. 3 screws for sure. Don't do
250's
2.
only got 2 screws. Come on.
250.
It's
yeah,
a
you don't have a
freestyle.
choice.
It's a freestyle reimagined motor.
I questioned Tommy on that too.
Don't hit
I was
anything,
like,
you're fine.
"Are you sure?
Don't hit anything. You're fine.
You sure about that?" I have not had good luck with only 2. Just saying.
If you do 2, you gotta grip it right, and you gotta check it. You gotta check it every fucking other flight.
Right.
And that's the reality of it, because if you're wrong by a half a thread, that's it. It only takes a pack.
It ain't gonna be a fun day for you.
It only takes a
my
pack.
friend.
And so what's the risk reward to you? If you really want to check, then check. And I think, you're brilliant for checking. I can't check. I no. I get up in the morning and that's it.
And that's away we go.
I need 3 screws on my fucking motors. I have like 27 quads, and if I have to remember what isn't right about any one of them, I'm fucked.
Did you build that tiny whoop?
I have it.
I give this guy.
I showed Cidfpv, and he was all like, he grabbed all my Mobula 7 shit, and he's like, I'm building this.
Yeah, nice.
You build that.
I gave this guy a full tiny whoop build kit because I couldn't be bothered to build it,
It's happening.
and I can't wait to hear how it is. I cannot wait to hear if he likes it or not. I cannot wait to see if he hits Monica in the face with it and gets it tangled in her hair.
Brilliant. Check out my channel. It's the only time you'll ever hear me boast my own freaking YouTube channel at P. Richard Scott somewhere, YouTube dot somewhere. Yeah, it's the only time I slam right in the freaking side of her head.
At youtube.biz.
Yeah. Be a Patreon, and one day I'll sign up for being a host.
So
But
there we
yeah,
go.
I flew right into her face. It was wonderful.
Axis motors are on. Let's see how much fatter this thing is with Axis motors. This is not a super fair. Why is that unscrewed? Oh, because. Oh! I can replace this screw. I left this screw backed out to remind myself of how bent it is. Yo, look how bent this screw is. Ready?
I'm really surprised about your use of these
Look at it.
castle type.
Look at it.
Oh my Jesus.
I ran out of this hardware.
It's going in.
The conicals?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I fucking figured it out finally. This specific glide arm end from BMC 3D, he tapers.
Oh, okay.
He tapers
the tits. Yeah.
the thing. So if you use conicals, it actually kind of grabs the
Okay.
taperedness
I
and
give
it
you-
doesn't
give
rip
you
it
that.
off. Man, it took me forever to realize that. I used to use these washers. That's why these are sitting out. I would put the washer.
They're bent into shape, as
and
I
then-
can see.
Yeah, I would like.
But you're also using the.
But the conicals
larger,
seem to work. Yeah, and then I use to be sure.
to be sure,
Um,
and so you don't have to carry another tool.
yeah,
Just
that's the
kidding.
goddamn truth.
As long as it was intentional. That's the only thing I was looking for.
Forever intentional.
Yes. What did you do to
Look
that
at
screw?
that. There it
bud?
is.
What'd you do to that?
There it is. That's how it's done right there. Do that to your screws if you're a real basher.
You know, if you hate someone, you just throw this at them. You don't have to say anything. It'd be like the Will Smith of FPV.
Take that.
Take that.
You
Asshole.
Shit.
Screw you.
You bastard.
Are you etching?
Will Smith just slapped me across the face. No, what did he say?
Oh,
Or no, slapped the shit out of me.
He
That's
just
what
slapped the shit out of me.
Will Smith just slapped the
I mean,
shit
if he's
out
gonna
of me.
say fuck, I'm gonna say shit. That's the best thing about Chris's response.
Yeah.
Is he just kind of stood there and he says, "Well, apparently all the rules have been broken, so fuck this." But could you imagine Chris Rock like 20 years ago?
Right.
He'd have been like, "Bitch, you don't know where I'm from." You know, I'm talking about the New Jack City years. Remember when he was smoking crack rock in the corner?
Yeah.
He was an edgy motherfucker when he was younger, like the rest of us.
Like the rest.
Like the rest of us, you know. And I don't know that he would have taken that, but you know, kudos. Just in short, since we hit the topic,
I still
kudos to Chris Rock for
I still think
handling
it's
that
fake.
with class.
Yeah, it is true.
He just
it is so
killed
true.
it. I mean, he was like, he could have been funnier.
Right.
But who the hell has that happen to them?
Yeah, right. Like
With Will Smith, like really?
how do you react to that?
I apparently like he did. I applaud Chrissy.
Yeah, that was kind of like the perfect reaction.
Brilliant. What you got there? Got some extra.
Who remembers Joshua Bardwell's video about the Loctite with a brush on it? Who
Wow.
in chat remembers that? That's my favorite Joshua Bardwell video. You remember that, right, Patrick?
I do remember
Yeah.
that. You did, but you saying it had to remind me.
It's the best. It's from a long time ago.
That's a long ass time
It's
ago.
from a long time ago. Somebody post a link to that in chat
Wow.
because I know somebody in chat doesn't know that video, and fuck me, are you missing out? That is true filmmaking right there. Riot9 says, reminder, bot grinder. All right, so we got 7 minutes before you guys are going to go watch some bot grinder. All right, and what's perfect about that is I am done, so we're not putting a Vista into the Rossi tonight, which is fine. This rig is good to go, though. Let's get it on the scale. And we'll compare it to a T-Motor F40, a light-motored glide. So this fucking chungus is at 354, pretty much right on the nose, 354. This guy has prop nuts on it, and there are some differences. This is coming in at 358. So prop nuts, what's different between these two? Different, well, everything. Different ESC, different flight controller. Oh, there's a huge difference. This has these gigantic 6mm wide, 22mm tall standoffs on it. This has skinny little 15mm tall standoffs. So this ain't a fair fight between these two. But I'll tell you what, I am happy that this thing is not super fat because of these motors. That makes my pee-pee excited. All right, friends. I'll try these motors out and let you know what I think. The big thing is going to be, are they more durable? Patrick is on that Jameson train.
What up? I bought another bottle, but I see I didn't need to. Now you have two here.
Now there's 2 bottles of Jameson that I won't drink.
You're alcoholic.
So there it is. Let's spin these motors up and give them a little bit. Jesus, I'm fucking drunk already.
Stop it.
Drunky McDrunkerson. Let's give these motors a little listen. Maybe they make a funny noise when they spin. Maybe they sing a little song. Maybe when I plug this in, it'll catch on fire. Oh man, how cool would that have been if it did?
Oh man, that smoke stopper use was dope.
Just gotta assume, you know?
I'm just waiting for it to explode.
Alright, here we go. Let's come in here and sound like motors. Let's is it really?
No. You're good.
Alright. Ah! Out. 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 Cool. Axis, go figure. Axis Motors. Yo, get this. Watch this. Ready? I'm gonna hit end. And so page up and page down go
100?
by 100.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Right, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
End has
Stop
always
all.
been stop all.
Nice.
Ready?
What does it mean?
It's full power.
What? Why would they do that? I want to kill them for that. Why would they do that?
Why would they do that?
Why wouldn't it be home?
So home is now off.
No.
Isn't that scary?
And the fact that it was that way before, but I didn't know it, I'm okay. But other people would be fucked right now, like you.
Right?
People who knew better.
Um,
That's something.
So this is right around where all the vibrations happen.
30% drop.
And these feel pretty good, yeah.
They sound good. Yeah, I still get stumped by the Talon F, you know, freaking motor 4 on the Talon.
Ooh, one of them definitely vibrates a little bit harder than the others. Here, feel this difference. Ready? So there's motor 4. That one's nice and clean. Check out motor 3.
Oh yeah,
Right?
Definite resonant.
So that's not great. You know, that's just a little bit of a lack of quality control. It's not that bad, but you notice it. I've never noticed that with T-Motor F40 Pro 2s or 4s. But like I said, it's not bad. It's just one of those
Can you
things.
check the tightness of all these bolts? I know you're fine, but just to make sure you
All the motor bolts are cranked.
Screws?
I didn't check those though. 8:57. Couple more minutes and we are out of here. Metal Diskin says because it's too good for its home. Athix says top end. LOL.
They're tight. They're tight.
Top is for end. Are they? Awesome.
They're tight.
Do I have anything else to show you guys? I don't really think so. I flew the Rossi and I blew up a motor. Rossi flies good with the 22mm standoffs. I couldn't tell a difference. Next week we'll put a Vista in here.
Your graph is off the chain.
Oh boy.
The graph is off the chain.
Oh boy.
Look at the graph.
All hell's breaking loose. Look at the graph. Look at the graph.
Smooth.
All right, guys, let's
Got a
shut this
heartbeat.
down a minute early.
Flatline.
I love you. I'll see you on Sunday at 3 o'clock. Thanks for hanging out. CiottiFPV.com if you want to support me to keep the train going. If not, you know, go to hell.
Fuck you.
Just kidding. You guys hanging out is all I've ever wanted or needed. It does help that I can do this for a living so that I can spend 8 to 10 hours a day, every day, thinking about and just doing FPV things. And then bring you guys along for the ride. Have an awesome Friday night. Have an awesome Saturday. I'll see you Sunday at 3 o'clock Eastern time. I don't know where I'll be. I'll be here. I'm going to be here. So that'll be fun. Be good. Here comes some more flying. Here's the last here's the first battery that I flew at that spot with everything set vertically. This is actually cool. This is the first time. This is like my first time flying 5-inch in many months. So
Isn't it great?
be kind. Love you guys. Be good.
Kisses a demerit. I heard that shit. I was flying, laughing my ass off.
Oh shit! I'm upside down. Hold on. Rotation 270. There we go.
Demerit.
There we go. All right, here you guys go.
Hilarious.
Later.